Hello, everybody. My name is Danny. This lesson is for someone who is interested in learning Mandarin Chinese. So, if you've never learned Chinese in your whole life, this lesson is for you because we're going to start from ground zero. So, as anybody who's interested in learning Chinese and is taking lessons, um, we always started with the Chinese alphabet, which is called Pinyin. So, we're going to start with that. Next, I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction of the basic Chinese language system. So for speaking, there are two major dialects, the Mandarin and the Cantonese. Mandarin is used in countries like the mainland China, Taiwan, Singapore, and Malaysia. And Cantonese is used in the southern part of mainland China and also in Hong Kong. The two dialects are very different from each other, so if a person who only speaks Mandarin cannot understand someone who only speaks Cantonese, so you kind of have to pick one or the other. So for this lesson, we are focused on the Mandarin Chinese because it's more widely used. For writing, we have two systems, the simplified Chinese and the traditional Chinese. The simplified Chinese is used in mainland China, and the traditional Chinese is used in Hong Kong and Taiwan. So as you can see down here, the traditional Chinese is a lot more complicated than the simplified Chinese. So the traditional Chinese is a more ancient language, so it is the character that it's more similar to the character that people use in thousands of years ago, and when the Communist Party took over China, they want everybody to learn to be they want to basically they want to increase the literacy in China, so they simplified the traditional characters so that everybody is able to learn the language easily. And to be able to pronounce these complicated characters, the government also created the Romanized speaking system, which looks like this. So it kind of looks like English, but not quite like that. But this system basically helps people to pronounce complicated characters like this. So this character means horse, and it's pronounced like ma, ma. So it means horse. Of course, I'm gonna explain the romanization system in a lot more detail in the next few slides, but this is just an example. So this course, as I said, is for someone who wishes to communicate with people living in mainland China, Taiwan, Singapore, and Malaysia. If you're traveling to Hong Kong, it would be best for you to learn Cantonese instead of Mandarin because the two dialects are so different from one another. If you are speaking Mandarin in Hong Kong, you would have a more difficult time. So let's start with the vowels. Vowel in Chinese is called 元音. So there are 6 basic vowels in Chinese alphabet. In English, we have 5, A, E, I, O, U. And in Chinese, there are 6. And this particular character that looks like a U with 2 eyes on the top is one of the unique vowels that Chinese alphabet has. So A is pronounced ah, ah. O is pronounced o, o. E is pronounced uh, uh. I is pronounced e, e. U is pronounced oo, oo. And this particular character is pronounced yu, yu. So here are the 6 basic vowels. And down here at the bottom are some of the 2-letter vowels, and these ones are basically a combination of the basic vowels, and they usually sound like the 2 basic vowels that are combined with one another. So for AI, so A is pronounced A, I is pronounced E. So AI is pronounced I. So AO is pronounced ow, ow. OU is pronounced o, o. EI is pronounced a, a. ER is pronounced so you kind of have to curl your tongue a little bit to pronounce that word correctly. So IE is pronounced yeah, yeah. IU is pronounced you, you. UI is pronounced way, way. So this one is interesting because the I is not pronounced E, it's pronounced A. So combined with the U sound, so it's pronounced like way, way. And this one is also interesting. It's pronounced yue, yue. So this is also not pronounced as for some reason. But this is the pronunciation for that. And here are some more double letter or even 3-letter vowels. But these ones are a little bit more systematic. They're not as random as the previous slide. So on this roll, it's basically the basic vowels combined with an N. So AN is pronounced an, EN is pronounced IN is pronounced in, UN is pronounced un. This one is pronounced yun. And this row down here at the bottom is basically the basic vowels combined with NG. So ANG is pronounced ang, ang. ONG is pronounced ong, ong. ENG is pronounced ung, ung. ING is pronounced ing, ing. So hopefully you can tell the difference between the upper row and the lower row because they kind of sound very similar to one another. But for the upper row, there's this N sound in the end, like an. Whereas for the lower row, your mouth remained open the whole time. So you never close your mouth completely. So that's the difference. I'm gonna try to pronounce them once again so that you could kind of tell the difference between the two. An, an, ang, ang, un, un, ung, ung. in, 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 in. So it's very similar, but try to listen to the differences. And if you can't quite get it, that's okay too. You will get that eventually with practice. So no worry on that end. So down here are all the consonants in Chinese alphabet, and I've written them in the order of the English alphabet, so you could kind of see the similarities between the two. And of course, there are some differences as well, but the majority of the consonants in Chinese is pronounced exactly the same as English, so I'm not going to explain all the pronunciations one by one, but I will explain the tricky ones that's in this chart. And there are some other issues that I'd like to point out. So for the whole romanization system for Chinese, all the vowels and consonants are written in lowercase, except for this character, this W character, and also this Y character. The reason why these two letters are written in uppercase is because um, the pronunciation of these two letters are very similar to the vowels U and E. So U is very similar to W here, and E is very similar to this Y letter. So that's why they are in uppercase instead of lowercase. And on top of that, the letter V does not exist in Chinese alphabet, so it's not there. Another thing that I'd like to point out is that there are three um, double letter consonants here, and I'm gonna teach you how to pronounce them in a minute. So here are the tricky consonants. So this one is pronounced, J is pronounced Ji, Q is pronounced Qi, X is pronounced Xi, Z is pronounced Z, C is pronounced C, S is pronounced S, R is pronounced R, ZH is pronounced Zh, CH is pronounced Ch, SH is pronounced Sh. And those are basically all the tricky consonants. And their pronunciation is kind of similar too. So hopefully you could hear the difference between these characters. So I'm gonna read them out again. J is pronounced Ji, Ji. Q is pronounced Qi, Qi. X is pronounced Xi, Xi. Z is pronounced Z, Z. C is pronounced C, C. S is pronounced S, S. R is pronounced R, R. So it's kind of like has like a curly tongue kind of sound in there. So you curl your tongue a little bit and you go like R. And then ZH is basically Z plus R. That's kind of like the sound. Zh. So R is R and Z, Z, Zh, Zh. CH is basically sounds like C and R combined together. So it's like ch, ch. SH sounds like a combination of S and R. So, sh, sh, and those are basically the tricky consonants that you have to pay attention to. All the other ones are very similar to English, as I said. And this is basically, this chart at the bottom here is basically the top one plus an E at the end. So they pronounce exactly the same as the upper one, just with the E, but ji. So it goes like ji, qi, xi, zi, ci, si, ri, zhi, chi, shi. So they sound exactly the same as the upper one, but they have this E vowel in the end. Next, we're going to talk about the tones. Tones in Chinese is called 声调,声调. So in the Chinese romanization system, which is called Pinyin, it's combined with different elements. So we have the consonant, 辅音, 辅音, and we have the vowel, 元音, 元音, and then finally we have the tone, 声调. So there are different rules that we have to follow when we use the 声调, the tones. The first one is that the tone is always put on top of the basic vowel. So here's 辅音, so 辅. The tone is written directly on top of this vowel 五, and in this character, the tone is written directly on top of I-E, E, this E sound. And the second rule is that if there are two vowels in one single character, we put the tone on the latter vowel. So say here we have yuan. Actually, this kind of looks like a u, but it's actually yu. Usually in Chinese romanization system, when yu, the one with the two dots, is directly behind y, yeah, the two dots are omitted. This is another rule that you might want to pay attention to, but here this character yuan, basically you have this vowel u and also another vowel an. So in that case, the tone is written on top of the second vowel, so underneath, so on top of an, So similarly here, the tones is called 声调. So here you have the yao, diao. So here we have the vowel e and another vowel ow. So the tone is written on the second one here on top of a. So this is how it works. So in Mandarin Chinese, there are 4 tones. We have the basic tone, the rising tone, the dipping tone, and the falling tone. I basically made these descriptions up because I was trying to find a way to describe how that tone goes. So the tones are unique to the Mandarin Chinese language because different tones conveys different meanings and it means different characters. So here are some examples. Here I have the basic tone, ma, ma. So this is the basic tone. That's why we use this tone to pronounce all the vowels and consonants. They are all in this basic tone. So this is ma, and it means mom. The rising tone is a little bit different. It sounds like ma, ma. So ma means numbness. So as you can see, the changing in tones is gonna change the meaning of the words as well. And the dipping tone sounds like ma, ma. So it kind of goes downwards and upwards again. So it goes like ma, ma. So this one means horse. And the falling tone sounds like this. Ma, ma. And this one it means scold. So as you can see, the different tones conveys different meanings. So it is very important to get your tones right, otherwise the meaning of your words will be changed too. So that's it for lesson 1. I hope you enjoyed the lesson and I hope that you learned something new. I've been trying to explain the Chinese language in the simplest way possible, so hopefully it's not too complicated for you guys. If you have any feedbacks or ideas, please comment down below, and I'll see you in the next lesson.